How are you, beautiful beings? So great to see you. Hi, Carolina, and thank you for letting me know about the sound. I have a microphone, a fancy microphone that sometimes doesn't work well, so I reverted to the other settings in my computer. Thank you for letting me know. And I was sharing how excited I am to be here today. I just come back from a long week trip in Mexico, and yesterday was my first live back from the trip, and today my second one, and I am so happy. Yes, exactly. Receiving guidance from the chat. That's why I love to have this chat because this is how we communicate in these live events. It's not that I can even see who everybody is in from my perspective as a teacher here and the teacher. Well, I feel like I'm a guide and perhaps a leader sometimes in different practices, but I'm not here to teach. We're here to learn together and from one another. And I don't get to see everybody. I just see a few icons on the bottom of my screen in my settings, and I don't get to see everybody. So when I see you coming up in the chat, I see your face and your name, and I begin to really learn from you and recognize you. Not only what you're saying, but also who you are and what you look like. And that's how we build community. So if you can, just send your words in the chat. That would be a great way to connect and learn from one another. And yes, today we're going to talk about receiving guidance. I was saying that when you can hear me. And I'm very excited about this topic because yesterday, if you were here in the live event, and if not, that's okay, we're going to review that. But yesterday during our meditation, we really opened up the channel for receiving, which means in a way letting go of this idea of a container that is a little too small sometimes for us, that we have because we're conditioned to have it for different reasons. Imagine a plant that is growing and the roots are getting all tangled because the container that is in is a little too small. And we don't get to see that always from above. We see the plant is healthy, and it's only when you realize, oh, I want to transplant this, you go and see, oh, these roots were packed in here, right? So the moment you expand the container, the roots have more space and the plant grows faster and taller and brighter. So that's more or less what happens when we expand our container to receive more. Not only will you will feel more energized, more peaceful, more loving, you will also receive information, pick up energy, and be able to decode what this means. Now, what I would love to know, if you want to share with us in the chat, is, are you familiar with any way of doing this? Because there's more than one way. And today we're going to talk about two ways and experience two ways, one in meditation and one in a little practice that I want to share with you now in the live in the chat. And the two main ways that I want to talk about today, or for us to experience today, are receiving guidance from outside of ourselves, yes, from something that we can ask. And for some of you, could be you're attending to the signs, you're looking for messages, you're looking for clues. Some people see numbers on repeat or have birds come in their awareness when they're wandering, or they may ask for guidance at night and receive it through a dream. Yes, and some of us also use some tools, for example, cards or crystals or different divination tools, guidance tools, oracle tools. So those will all be from outside of ourselves. And then what we find in meditation is that we become channels to receive guidance from within. And even if it feels that it's coming from outside of ourselves in the moment, like a spirit guide or an ancestor, it's also coming from within. It's our higher self expressing or connecting to what's out there, but translating it within. So you hear the answer, you feel the answer, or that piece of information inside of yourself. So just good to know that we don't always have to look for information and guidance outside of ourselves. We can also rely on our inner sources. Yeah, great. So Angela, new for you, perfect, is really fine. No worries, because we learn together and the new has a great opportunity for you because it's a blank canvas. You don't have preconceived ideas or anything to unlearn, which is some of us healing processes in unlearning a lot of things that we learn that are not beneficial for us anymore. Kind of like having an old outfit that is still in your closet and you never use it again. Those are the outdated beliefs and conditioning. So perhaps something you heard growing up, oh, it's not okay to blah blah blah, or you can't this and that, or this is bad, or yeah, and then you kept yourself believing that. So we have to unlearn that in order to have more space. That container in your case will grow through unlearning. And if you're a blank slate as well, you can put in it whatever you want. It will be more like seeding, right, in the spring. Hi Nick, good to see you. Oh, Jane, thank you for bringing that up. And Julian, Tara, we're gonna do one read of tarot. So whoever wants to volunteer, I'm gonna be asking for one volunteer just to play with this. The accuracy of the cards is sometimes astonishing. And then we're gonna go into the meditation. So we're gonna practice both receiving guidance from outside and from within. And Jane brings up a beautiful point. Thank you for sharing that, Jane. Because trusting, in a way, is the greatest piece, the golden key. And you will see it not only in this, related to this topic, related to receiving guidance, is trusting the guidance, especially if it comes from within. In a way, it's easier to trust, say, cards. If somebody's throwing cards for you, it's easier to trust a book or something you read online, yeah, than to trust your own inner knowing. Why is that, I wonder? Where in the process of learning and conditioning we decided that our voice, our gut feeling, our heart knowing is not worthy of trust. So that's big part of the learning process, the healing, and where the golden key, in my experience, lies. Because once you allow yourself to trust, then you will see that you can trust a lot more than that. You can also trust your body to heal itself. You can trust your compassion to nurture and care lovingly for everything and anything, past the conditioning of the judgment. I like, I don't like, this is good, this is bad. So trusting becomes not only good for you with other people relationship wise, but also with yourself. And it accelerates your process of healing, of expansion, of forgiving, if you learn to trust. So I think at the end, that's what we're doing. In the end, we're learning how to trust. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Anything else that anybody wants to share? Some of you joined a little later, and I want to say hello, introduce yourself in the chat. We are about to begin the practice. My name is Diana. For those of you that are new here, I welcome you to the practice today. We're going to do one experience of receiving guidance from cards, just because I want you to feel the difference between receiving guidance from outside with a tool and okay, well, Weebke has a good advice for everybody. If you don't have sound, go out and come back in. The chat, you didn't see it. Sometimes if you're doing it on the phone, if the phone is on the way that you can see the biggest image, maybe like this, you don't see the chat. But then if you change the orientation of the phone, you see the chat. And you have to find a way how to type in there. If you're not on Wi-Fi, sometimes you can't type in there. So it's worth exploring a little bit so you can participate. As I was saying, thank you for the comment. As I was saying, we're gonna play with one reading of these cards very quick, because we just pulled 3 cards and they're very, very accurate for the most part. And I would like to test that with you, to share that with you, to experience that together. And then we're gonna go in a short, maybe 15-20 minute meditation, and we will do similarly. We will ask for guidance, but instead of from an external tool like an oracle card set or somebody doing a reading for you, we will do it from within, and you will see that it's also very accurate, and we will find the trust moment. And that is where the gold is. if you can trust what you hear in that moment. We're gonna set the space for that. So who would like to be my player? Who would like to play with me? I will only need perhaps a name, and if you have a specific intention or question, otherwise it could be just open, and we will do this card pull together. Perfect. Thank you, Carolina. So Carolina, you are in the Netherlands, right? And I'm not a card reader, really. I use this for guidance, spiritual guidance. So I don't do this for a lot of people, but I do have done it enough that I notice that they're pretty accurate. More than pretty, just like very accurate. So Carolina, if you have something in your heart that you would like guidance on, let's do two, okay? Let's do two people because there's a lot of you that are asking for it. So let's go with Carolina first, and I don't need to know, but just hold in your heart the question. I'm just connecting with your energy, and the cards are connecting with your energy. These cards were given to me by my own intuition, that I had to go and get them around New Year's, and I trusted and I went and I found them among 60 other sets. I know exactly where I had to go to get them, so I went. It was just another beautiful trusting experience, and they are from Metatron, which is an archangel, and they have this beautiful golden rim. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, Carolina, ask that now that question, or just openness to receive guidance in your heart. So we connect to the intention together. And we cut them. And then I'm just gonna pull 3 cards. I'm gonna use my hand. I usually expand the cards like a fan, and then I pull 3 cards. So together now, you join me in this as if we are here together. And I'm gonna get quiet. You see that the way I use this is just getting quiet, calm. I'm using my non-dominant hand on the cards, and I'm just letting my higher intuitive self pick for Carolina 3 cards. And sometimes it happens very quickly, and sometimes it takes a little while, and you're breathing. So I'm gonna show you what came up. So the first card that comes up for you is this one, which is called Review and Reflection, and is showing you contemplating. Time out needed. Time out meaning time to reflect. The number 2, and a lot of blues and whites, and the moon, the lunar energies. The other card that came is this one that is called As Above, So Below, which means that heaven and earth are the same, and heaven is here. In whatever you are experiencing in the higher realms, or when you connect to divinity, is also here and right now, and we can find it and trust it. It's just sometimes it's below the ground, right? So what we get to see in the reflection is what really happens below the ground. And if you've seen some root systems, they look exactly the same underground than they look at the top. If you're a gardener, you know this. So sometimes we have to trust that here on earth we have that knowing and expansion that we sometimes find only when we are in spiritual practices. And as you work on yourself, you will see the reflection outside. Everything in a way is mirroring you. And that was the number 5. The number 5 is 41, and 4 plus 1 is 5. And then we have this one here. It's a blue card. It's the mother, the divine mother. And the mothering that happens sometimes is to oneself, is to mother ourselves and to self-love and self-care. And sometimes is to mother others and to be that force of unconditional love, thinking, for example, Mother Teresa, right? Or some mother of the world, compassion, that all-encompassing love. And this is the number 11, who could also be a 2, but it's actually a master number. 2 plus 9. And the last card, because we pull out 3, and then I like to see the card that was in the bottom of the cut, is this one. Oh, I like this card a lot. This is the Kundalini fire. This is you using untapped energy. So if we put them all together, right, the time to reflect, recognizing that as above, so below, and that you are creating reality and everything is a reflection of you, and that a big piece of it is in the unconditional love and mothering of self and others, the good mother, right, the love, unconditional. That's where a lot of untapped energy can be. Isn't that interesting, right? The rising of the Kundalini. 3 plus 5 is 8. So the numbers were 2, 5, 2, or 11, and 8. And these numbers sometimes mean something, sometimes they don't. Usually when they are all the same number, I go, oh, wow, that's a number that is meaningful. But in this case, the numbers are different. What do you think, Caroline, if you can share? Thank you, Lenore. That's what I'm sharing them with you all. Because if you want to pick some external tool, make sure you love it and it's beautiful. And then that is also applying to ourselves when we receive guidance from ourselves, finding love and beauty in ourselves, because it connects you to it in a different way. Carolina, anything accurate there for you? Do you feel that is, you're welcome? Was it helpful? Great. The deck is a Metatron, Archangel Metatron deck. I'm gonna do one very quick now for somebody else. Who else said? Yes, thank you, Hannah. It was a gift almost for myself, and now I get to share it. Brenda's asking about the path ahead. Ooh, if somebody else wants to know the path ahead, because we want to do a meditation, so we're not going to do just this. Though if you want to, we can do it one day. We can just do reading for a lot of people. I really want us to trust the guidance within as well. See how easy it is to trust the cards or to be interested in open and available, because it feels safer than trusting ourselves. Okay, so we're going to cut and we're going to shuffle. Okay, and now Brenda, the path ahead is what you had in mind, and I'm going to ask you to now feel this now, this moment. I'm going to get very calm and cut these cards. And instead of doing the fan, I'm going to just pull from the top. It's a faster reading. This has to do with emotional well-being. The number 7, there's water, there's dolphins. So some of the answer you're looking for has to do with emotional well-being, transformation from darkness into light. And in this case, the numbers begin to make sense too, because this is the card 7, and this is 3. Oh, 3 plus 1 is 4. Sorry, I thought it was 3 plus 4. That's okay. Here, the third card is codependency, freeing ourselves from a relationship of codependency with something or somebody. It doesn't have to be a person. It may have to do with the emotional well-being. Like, where you have the key, where do you use this key? Where can you use the key to free yourself, is what this card says, from a codependent relationship. That doesn't have to be necessarily with a person. It could be with a situation, with an object or food or anything, a thought. And the last one, in this case for you, Brenda, is birthing the new. Birthing the new, and this is 4. Codependency was card number 8. Transformation is card number 4. So there's some force here. And birthing the new is the new path. But it's gonna require for you some emotional well-being, transforming whatever needs to be healed. And perhaps there's something codependent there that can be healed. And you know that you can do it, and that's how you can rebirth. Isn't that funny how at least they make sense among each other? Oh, thank you so much. That's great, Brenda. Yeah, I love tools like this because it's easy to see, right? And the reason we do the tools first is because it's easy to see and it's easy to trust. And it's easy to say, oh, that was accurate or that was inaccurate, because I have two things. I have factual reference from within. I know what I'm going through, even if I don't share all the details. And I have the cards in front of me, right? So I have very physical proof. Actually, especially these ones, they're beautiful cards. And you can say, oh my gosh, I totally love that image. I so relate with water, dolphins, and whatnot. Now we're going to go into the second part of the session, and we're going to find exactly the same, but from within. And why is it more challenging, my loves? Because we don't trust this beautiful instrument so much sometimes, just like Jane was saying. We are equally beautiful and designed perfectly, just like these cards. We don't have the same factual proof of what we hear and receive. We're not seeing images that are in 3D. We see images sometimes from within, or hear things, or have blurry vision yet, and we don't know that we see what we see. So it's a little more subtle. You see where I'm going with this? Is it clear that the guidance, the information we receive is not as clear as it is from the cards sometimes, or not as easy to say, oh, this is what I heard, and this is what I see, and this is the number, and this is how it all connects. So that the physical tools are almost like a shortcut and an opportunity to trust and to learn that as above, so below. As within, so without. Just like we saw in the card for Carolina. So as we can rely on these tools, we can rely on our inner tools, and we will do that together now. And the promise is that if you can open your heart and open yourself to believe what you receive, it could be equally as useful and powerful, relevant and accurate as a tool from outside when it's done in the ultimate love and for our highest good, which is how I use these cards. Okay? So that's, in a sense, the rules of the game would be, okay, let's play now with the same childlike enthusiasm that we can pull cards and say, oh, this is fun. Let's play now, getting really quiet. And I'm going to guide you through a short visualization, and we're going to go to a tree, and we're going to sit there together in the meditation, and you're going to receive something, and that will be an answer or guidance. And it could be coming from your heart, it could be coming from your higher self, from ancestors, spirit guides, who knows. You will see who it's coming from. And then your job will be just to receive that and not judge it or question it, and trust it and go with it as if it was completely harmless, just like pulling a card cannot hurt. The moment you question it, it will be less powerful, okay? And then we can share or not, and you get to take it home with you. Take it through your day, okay? Thank you so much, everybody, for the comments. Thank you. Any questions or comments before we just do the sitting? Hi, I love that heart. Thank you. Okay, my dears. So let's do the sitting now. We're gonna get quiet. I am sitting with my legs uncrossed, feet on the floor. You can sit as you wish, as long as your spine is long. And right now, let me see. I'm gonna put my hands in this mudra today. Sometimes we do different things, but I'll show you. It's a thumb and the hand around it and the hand around it. And this represents the infinite. It's the thumb and a fist and the other hand. So it kind of looks like a spiral. You can do whatever you want, but I'm showing you since I'm sharing. I'm sharing tools and practices. And these mudras, we'll do more mudras next week in the live sessions. The mudras are designed to both connect our hemispheres in the brain and also to create a power gesture. So they have meanings and they have associations that we make with those meanings. So when I think I'm making this mudra, I'm invoking the power of infinite knowing coming from any source. So you can do this or whatever you like with your hands. And now we get really still for a minute. Still meaning that the waters inside of you get calmer and calmer. We are about 70-75% water. So as you breathe now, imagine yourself, you can close your eyes if you want to. Imagine yourself being this river, these waters, our attention is kind of bubbling. And now we get to still the waters. So slowly with your breath, open and relax as you follow my voice and imagine the calm waters of your body getting calmer and calmer like a lake. Slowly. And if this is hard at the beginning, it's okay, it's gonna be easier. But we work with this idea of calming the waters today. Because the water is where our intuition is most alive. Darkness, water. So picture yourself full of water inside, and this water is calm and peaceful like a lake. As you breathe, you calm it a little more. The lake reflects the clouds, any ripples from leaves falling on it or the wind. And slowly let everything settle this way and getting calmer and calmer. And send your attention to the earth below you. Connect to the earth intentionally. So any spiritual practice that we do and we expand our energy and consciousness is grounded on the earth. Connect. You can say or intend. And now as we activate this vortex of energy where we together with our intention invoke guidance to arrive in the stillness of our waters. I invite you to imagine now that you are surrounded by beings that support your growth. You can call them in, and it could be just one, or it could be many. And these beings could be from the nature realm, could be spirit elements, or nature spirits. Invite your guides, your angels. We all have a guardian angel or more than one. You can invite ancestors that want you to thrive and grow. We can invite our higher selves. Our higher selves being the freed version of ourselves, the one that is probably darkest, but still knows everything that wants to be freed from our own being and is giving us the work of everything that wants to be transformed, expanded, freer. And let's invite also angelic light. I call in Archangel Metatron that always works with me and was already present in these cards to bring to us the grid of the consciousness from galactic source, from Christ consciousness. You can imagine this space that's around us completely filled now with supporting, loving energy from all these different sources that we all have, different ones. Could be a power person that is alive, a mentor that has passed away. Just feel them here. And go back within, expanding in that support that you have now surrounding you. Go back within and notice the calm waters of your body, even more peaceful. And now peacefully imagine yourself now walking around this lake, walking the path around the lake, knowing that the lake is there. You're taking some steps away from the water, and in your mind you're walking, the sun is shining, you feel the warmth on your skin, and you find a path, and there's no people in this path, and you want to take it. It's a beautiful summer day, you feel breeze on your face, and you walk this path noticing that there's different trees and leaves all around you, and you continue walking, listening to the birds, the sounds in the distance. And the path is a little bit uphill now, but you know that you can handle it, so you breathe and keep going. And as you walk up this path, it's getting brighter and greener. And you notice there's more trees and more plants that are coming to meet you. As you walk the path, there's more grass growing and more trees. And it almost feels like flowers are blossoming as you walk. And trees have fruit now. And the more you walk, the fuller with life this path becomes. And you continue walking and noticing that little animals are coming to greet you and thanking you for bringing life to this path, for bringing green grass and flowers as you walk. And you trust your step, because with each step you see more life. And these little animals are welcoming you. Now as you keep walking, you notice these trees are very tall and have fruit in them. These trees are feeding beings, birds, animals. And you see this one tree that is especially beautiful for you, and something about it calls you in, and you walk a little closer to this tree and you say hello to this tree, and what a beautiful canopy you have, and so many fruits are hanging from you. And you sit by this tree and put your back against the tree and settle. Take a moment to feel the energy of the tree and the roots beneath you, knowing that the roots of this tree connect to all the other trees under the ground and feeling that support. And you know that you could, if you want to, pick a fruit from this tree and take it with you. Actually, the tree is full of fruit for you. And you wonder if you want to, if you can, if you're worthy. And you know you are. You know you're worthy of all this abundance, all this beauty. So you can smile and relax, knowing that at any moment, whenever you want to, you can reach up, grab a fruit, take it in. There's so much of it, you could pick more than one and share it. And in this moment you get very still and you know you have a question in your heart. Or perhaps you're looking for guidance about something. So you lean against the tree and breathe and allow this tree with its big canopy and roots to receive you and your question or request for guidance. And now slowly, almost magically, you feel connected to the tree. You are this tree. Breathe in and breathe out. And remember to trust what you feel in this moment. Very gently, a leaf falls from the tree and lands on your lap, and you're holding it. And this landed leaf is so gentle, so light, and yet it's beautiful. It's very clear. As you look closer, you see the perfection of the veins of the leaf. And it's as if you could read a message in it. There's so much to see in this leaf. What do you see? Is it a word? An image? And sometimes you can see with eyes closed. So you practice that. You practice closing your eyes and seeing the leaf within and seeing what's written on it. And sometimes you can feel. So you put this leaf on your hands and place it on your heart and feel it. And some of us can hear within, so you get really silent and you hear. What are you saying to me, tree? And slowly now you put the leaf on the ground. You thank this leaf for its message. You look up the tree and the sun is shining through the canopy, through the leaves. Beautiful sun rays. And you get to stand up now and give this tree a good hug, to thank it for its wisdom. Gently now you can walk your path back to the lake, slowly noticing that everything is more radiant, as if the colors are more vibrant. You have this knowing now that there's a place where you can come back to, a loving and supportive tree that you can lean on, that is also you, and you can find this guidance. Because all the answers are there, like millions of leaves in this beautiful tree. So slowly now walk the path down and down and down, noticing more colors, more details, the gentle breeze on your skin. And at some point you see the shimmer of the lake and the reflection in the water. And the sun is shining in the water and is calling you closer to it. And you get closer to this lake again and you see the full expanse of the water. Big lake. And your internal water is also so big. You feel brother and sister with this lake. For the lake is also in you. And you can say thank you to the path, to the lake, to yourself in this moment. When you're ready now, slowly you can wiggle your toes and rub your hands and then place them on or near your eyes and remember what you saw, what you felt, what you sensed with your mind's eye and your thoughts during this meditation. Take it in. Let it guide you. And rub your hands again and place the hands on or near your heart and allow the sensation of the hands on your heart, warm, cold, maybe just pressure there or contact. Remind you that all the knowing is here. And one more time, rub your hands a little bit and create some friction and put them below your belly button and know that the life force that you own resides there. So may this practice that we had today create more life force for us, settling us in our center. And may we share it with whoever needs it the most. For there's infinite life available. When you're ready, you can just snap your fingers, come back to the room around you, the space, the chat, the screen, for it's all one. Yes, spirituality happens in daily moments, so we can come back at any moment. How are you, dears? Thank you so much for your donations, Brenda, Amy. I really appreciate them. There was a question earlier. May I ask about the meaning of untapped energy? That's a great question, Carolina. So imagine that, so there's there's water everywhere in the springs and underground that we don't get to see, right? I think that's a good image that comes to me right now. And if you were to tap a hole in the water, in the ground, if you tap a hole in the spring, the water will come up and you would have like a well. That's how people used to find wells sometimes um, with these water finding devices before technology, right? So imagine that there's a lot of energy that we can make that is in our own body. Actually, the capacity to tap into it, to make, is just tapping into the source that allows us, or the mechanism that allows us to express more of it, to feel more of it. There's very good examples. The meditation we just did tapped into a lot of energy for us, didn't it? For me, at least, I felt it. Sometimes it feels to me like warmth or tingling or visuals or sounds. It could feel like nothing at all. But you know that you're energized after something or you're not. You're drained or energized. Food, music, people, activities, exercise, water, all these things create more energy for us or less. So in a sense, the Kundalini and the technology there sometimes is breathing, sometimes is movement, sometimes is openness of the third eye and your heart, and that opens the base of your body. There's different modalities, different practices to create more energy. And the Kundalini is just an expression, a well-known, well-documented expression of when that energy begins to rise up in your body. And it feels sometimes like fire or warmth or just pure fuel, like drive, energy, movement. And there's different ways to work with it. And it might happen, and this is for another life maybe, but it might happen that as you begin to work with these energies, they wake you up in the middle of the night and they move your body. So a lot of it is mysterious how it works, but what we know about it, the people that we practice this, is that once you begin to, it's almost like a spiral up. It's like a uncoiling. That's why the Kundalini sometimes is represented with a snake or a serpent that rises up. It just takes a life on its own. It allows you to make more of it, to almost like a spring that just is pushed, and when you release it, it springs up by itself. I think that's another good image. And breathing is a very good way to bring it up. So we can work with that too if you're interested. Thank you so much, everybody. Maddie, Angela, Erin, I appreciate your donations very much. You liked it? Yes, thank you. Me too. Me too. I really enjoyed it. And I have to tell you that when I do these meditations, I have the overall line of thought or image. I don't know the words. How do I come up with the words? Is I channel them. And how do I channel them? Because over the years, for now it's been over 12, 13 years, I honored my ability to channel. First it was just Feldenkrais. The first things I noticed that were coming through me was this movement sequences that I learned in this Feldenkrais method, and most recently is meditation of the last 2-3 years. And what is required is that I get clear, get out of the way, and then trust what I'm hearing. And sometimes I hear it first, and sometimes it's just almost like opening. If you had like a megaphone, remember the old megaphones, they were closed, and when you talk on them, it doesn't come out, but then when you open them, whatever you're saying gets amplified. And that's what it feels like. So I appreciate you receiving it, and may it be a reflection that we all have this capacity. And maybe what you are channeling is not a meditation, is the act of service that you are in the world for others. Let's just ponder that for a minute. We are not all designed to do and be the same thing. But we are all vehicles of love, opportunities for love to be expressed in service. And that's when we can be either in our own way of it, hold back, refrain, not trust, feel like, oh, this is too much, or just get out of the way and let it shine through you. Who was it? Was it Amy? Was it you that felt like me when we were younger, that we were too happy? And some people used to say to us, you're too happy. What's wrong with you? And for a while, I was holding back my joy and enthusiasm because it felt like it was too much. And then I realized, wait, that's my superpower, because I can be joy no matter what. So sometimes that's medicine. And it's not that I don't see what's to be sad about, and I can feel it too greatly. It's that I choose to be joy expressed, be love expressed, or loving action. It feels more natural to me and needed. So it's a choice. So what is your medicine that you're here to give to the world? Did anybody had trouble with the visualization? Because that's something that I want to support people with. Some people are very visual and they can see everything as we do this meditation. Some people have challenges. So if you let me know, I can also make it easier for you by adding more detail or being less vivid in my imagery, so we can find a middle way. Thank you, Gretchen. I appreciate you. I thank everybody that was here today from the beginning. And if you didn't, that's okay. Know that I start at 9 or whatever the time is set. Tomorrow's live is at 12. And I end about an hour later because I want to be respectful of your time. And I want you to know that we'll end on time so you can count on that to go on with your day. So next time, just come in a little earlier. Thank you, everybody. Oh, Lenore, that is so sweet, right? Yes, exactly. Too sensitive. Look at that as if it was a bad thing. And that allows you to be empathic and perceive, even pierce through the veil of physical reality that some other people cannot. It's such a gift. I know a lot of us were, especially I see some men in the group, perhaps you heard that you couldn't cry, or it was not manly to be emotional, and you had to push and just suck it up, and all that goes so against our growth and development. I see it in my own children. So let's allow us to be free and remove all limitation from how much love we can express, how much joy, how much empathy, compassion, awareness. Yeah, sometimes that's all we need to make the world a little better than we found it, right? Loves, if you haven't donated, and you can, this is a great time. Otherwise, you can always do it on my page. I always welcome the donations. We share them with the developers, with the App Store. So it supports my work. If you haven't followed the page, please do so. So you can go back to my live page where you found me and follow me as a teacher. And then every time I book something new, I'm about to book, my team is scheduling the lives for next week. So then you will see them as I book them. And you can join. You can also see some tracks I have there. There's some beautiful poetry, some breathing meditations, and bedtime stories, and some pain relief audio tracks. And then you can also share with somebody or invite somebody to the live event. There's a group that I have that I'm testing to see how many of us are interested in something like that you could join. And what else can I share? You can message me. There's a message button there. You can see my website on my page and connect with me. I do one-on-one sessions. I'm launching a program mid-March that I would love to share with you all. But I can't do any promotion on these live events, and I don't like to take advantage of that. We are under an agreement with Insight that we don't promote anything outside of Insight, and that's a program that is outside of Insight. So if you're interested, just reach out to me and I'll tell you more about it. We're looking for 5 to 6 people, and it's gonna be a lovely little group, and we're gonna stay together over the course of 7 months practicing, things like this and more. I would love to share. Oh, Mary Olivers, that's great. Isn't it lovely? I know. It really lights me up when I read Mary Oliver. Yeah. Speaking of nature, right? And how much we can learn from nature and reflect that that's who we are. If you like a flower or an animal or a tree, you are made out of the same exact atomic material. You just look different. So atomically, we are the same. Isn't it great? How much adoration and praise we can have for nature, and then do we praise ourselves like a tenth of that? Adore ourselves? So that's the ultimate self-love, is just not vanity, it's just honoring the beauty and the bliss that we are. We can be bliss, we can be hell for ourselves and everything around us. Okay, my dears, anything else before we sign off? Question, comments, shares about the practice, requests for future practices. The lives are usually at 9 a.m. now, 9 a.m. And the next ones I'm looking for Tuesday, Thursday, Friday next week. Oh, thank you, Nick. Thank you, Angela. Thank you so much. This is our community. This is why we're here. And I welcome those of you that are here for the first time, and know that even if the theme is a little different, the how, the meditation itself or the tools, the overarching theme is always similar. It's about how to embody more compassion, more love, more energy, how to really align with how fast things are moving and channel all that energy that we see that is sometimes chaotic and harness it. Thank you, Angela, for the word. Harness it into a work of love, a work of art, a work of service. And that is ourselves. We are our own creation. So with all these practices, we honor ourselves and we realize we are this infinite vehicle, infinite container for love, gratitude, and all that. And we can make more of it in community than we can alone. Basically because we resonate, just like, have you ever seen that experiment where they put grains of sand and they play frequencies, and the grains of sand organized into a drawing? Is amazing. And I think that's what happens in these live events, is that we get together collectively. We have all these different frequencies, more or less, right? I came from dropping off my kids at school. Maybe you were doing something outside. Maybe you were washing dishes. Maybe you were getting dressed. We all come in slightly different frequencies. We come in, and when we get together, we align, we sync up, like those metronomes in the other experiment, that all begin in different rhythms, and then eventually they look up metronome experiment on YouTube. It's fascinating. It takes them a few minutes, but eventually all the metronomes sync up. So again, atomically, quantum-like, we are made of similar vibration. It's just we're all in different frequencies when we come into togetherness. And as we meditate, pay attention, breathe, whatever we do together, here we sync up. And that's the quality that you feel. Is only that is, let's say, magnetized by the group, but also exponentially amplified. So it feels bigger, it feels clearer. That's what we're doing. That's what feels so great. Collective consciousness. Yes, exactly. And we get to experience it in this container of the inside life. Oh, that's a great one, Nick. So, numbers from the universe or the mystery that is out there that is giving us clues, right? Is perfect. And the four, in my experience, and is based on the Mayan calendar that uses lunar tones, the, the frequencies from the moon. And also, if you look at what the four represents, say a pyramid is a base, right? It's the 4 points that make a foundation, a solid base, and it's grounding. It's like a cube, right? Four sides. So the number four for me, which is a very lucky number for some cultures, like the Chinese culture, for me, the number four represents setting bases and foundations and grounding, and I'm here. It's that kind of energy. And the pyramid itself, which has 4 points, 4 angles, along with the obelisk, that also has four sides, if I'm not mistaken, is the two most common symbols around culturally in the whole planet to connect to divinity. Right, so what happens is you set the base, but then when you project the base to the top, you get this one single point with the four angles, and that is a tool for connectivity. That would be almost like an antenna in the older times. That's why there's so many pyramids with four sides and obelisks, and it's a technology to communicate with the divine. Oh, thank you for the question, Poppy. I have, yeah, I have. And because over the course of my life, I've done some Tai Chi, other martial arts, yoga, lots of breathing. I feel that I have woken it. What's the word? I woke up my Kundalini energy when I was 18. I started the process. And recently, I think about 2016, 2017 is when I began to feel actually this almost like pain, but not a bad pain. It's almost a sensation in the base of my spine. If you sense the tailbone, that's the base of your spine, or you can put your finger there, and it would wake me up in the middle of the night, pulsing like pain. And the only way to relieve this pain, and this is my experience, people have different experiences of Kundalini awakening. If I didn't move my body, it would hurt more. So I would, in the middle of the night, have to move my body in these kind of funky ways. And it happened more than once. And like everybody at the beginning, I got scared and I thought something's wrong with me and there's pain. And then I realized it was that energy that wanted to be moved. And if I got into certain positions, it was released. And then after that, what I think I can correlate with those moments of awakening almost on its own, is that I would feel more clarity of my purpose. I would feel more connection to my higher self, let's say, or my mission, or what am I here to do. So I noticed the connection between I listen and allow this energy to flow and release, and I get more clarity, which is beautiful. And it's also more demanding because as I went through COVID, like a lot of us, I couldn't do a lot of what I was doing in person, and I tried different things, and none of it would be for me, and I couldn't deny it. It's almost like the gap between truth and illusion is smaller. So you can't fake it anymore, if that makes sense, you know? So it's almost like you want to release as much energy as you can, and know that with it comes this fullness of your authenticity that now begins to talk to you real loud, and you can't hide anymore from who you are or not share who you are. And a lot of you see that in these live events, and you give me beautiful feedback. But know that it's a consequence of honoring that authentic self of ours. What you can see is it can never be faked. In my case, I don't think I could put up a character, dress up in a certain way, and if you see me tomorrow and last week, it's gonna be similar. and it doesn't need any makeup. You know what I mean? It's just it. And that is a consequence of the tapping into those energy centers. Usually we open those centers here. So in a way, what we're doing here together is opening the centers. And like I said earlier, I do have a program where that's part of what we do. We expand our capacity for consciousness and energy, and we move that Kundalini energy inside ourselves with breathing and other tools. And just knowing that, if you're interested in that, we can talk about it. But anyway, just knowing that in these live events, we touch on all different topics that are all connected to that. How to expand more energy, that's what it means. We can do it via the Kundalini or some other ways, like today's meditation. Thank you so much. All right, my dears, it's time to go. I love you. I'm so happy to see you always. Blessings. Thank you for those that are here for the first time, especially. You have found a community of love and expansion. Welcome back. Come back. Yes. Those of you that are here always, thank you for your support. You are the 4 pillars. Together we hold space for more and have more capacity. So we are, in a way, magnetizing more of us to connect from love and authenticity and truth. So I thank you. We're doing this together. I hope you know that. Thank you. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, loves. An amazing weekend. Appreciate your donations, your shares, your gratitude, and your presence more than anything, okay? I will see you soon. Mwah. Much love. Be well. See you tomorrow, hopefully. 12 p.m. is the next live event tomorrow. 12 p.m. Eastern. Alrighty. Love and byes. Be well. Bye-bye.